Hello, and welcome to Nokia's LinkedIn Live event with Microsoft, the second in our series. Today, we're discussing service orchestration and how we can leverage GenAI to advance to a fully autonomous network. My name is Matthew Henry, Head of Customer Enrichment at Nokia. And joining me today from Nokia is Alexander Dmitriev, Digital Operations Product Manager at Nokia Cloud and Network Services.
Hey, Matthew, thank you. Thank you so much for introducing. Yeah, my name is Alexander, and I'm leading the orchestration and the automation in Nokia.
Thanks, Alexander. And joining me from Microsoft, we have Alberto Manuel Fernandez Diaz, Telco Industry Advisor at Microsoft.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to work together with Nokia, bringing the future forward and innovating together on autonomous operations.
Thanks, Alberto. And thanks to you both for joining. For everyone listening, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. So let's kick off. Alexander, could you tell us about how Nokia sees the evolution to fully autonomous networks and how Nokia is moving from automated operations to autonomous networks?
Yeah, Matthew, thanks for the question. It's kind of a complex one. So when we talk about the creation of the autonomous networks, it's a journey. So it's not like one step, but you can break it in three clear stages. The first of all is the industry alignment. The second one, it would be the next generation technologies, and obviously the collaborative innovation. So we are Nokia starting by the aligning with the TM forum maturity model, especially the leap from the level 3-4 automation towards the level 5, which actually represents the full autonomy. And to get there, we are exploring approaches like use of the intent-driven automation, where the high-level business goals could be driven dynamically and with the policy-based actions. Use of the next-generation things like digital twins, which allow us, to simulate and optimize the services before we will go live. Those sets of the architecture's foundations, but the intelligence is actually the key, and that's where the Gen AI comes into the picture and into the play. At Nokia, we are actively right now embedding the LLMs and the agentic AI into the network operations to address a different type of the use cases. And for us, it's extremely important to keep those use cases very practical and applicable to our customers. For example, translate unstructured intents into the actionable workflows, or autonomously generate artifacts in the real time, like an adapters of the workflows as well. Continuously monitor and adapt to changes across the whole network. So it's not just traditional automation where you use different type of the automation tools, but it's adaptive and the reasoning-driven automation where the system learns and acts with the minimal human input. And that's how we define in with the TM forum the level 5 automation, right? So our progress here is actually significantly amplified by the deep industry collaboration. And that's, I would have an example of our recent work with Microsoft's Azure AI Studio and the OpenAI models, where we together delivered the AI-powered orchestration use cases that goes just far beyond the demos, right? Those are real-world use cases solving the real operational pain points. So, and innovation at scale is only possible when we are co-create and work with the leaders like Microsoft. And in terms of the Nokia, so a little bit zooming out, what is our Nokia vision of the autonomous networks? And we define it in a simple principles, fully aligned with the TM forum as well, the zero touch, zero faults, and zero wait. So from design stage to the assurance, every life cycle should operate independently. And how that's like, let me give you an example how it will look like. So let's imagine the new service request comes via API. The system will react to it and auto-generate the workflow and the configuration. And if intent is not recognized, the GenAI help to translate it. And after service is deployed based on auto-generated artifacts, if something fails or SLA is violated, AI Ops and agentic AI will detect this problem and bring it back to the different type of the tools, whether it's orchestration or assurance, with the need to fix it. And that's actually a new intent for the orchestrator. So a new intent is triggered and the cycle is continuous. It's kind of like an infinite loop of the M2M interactions with the real-time responsiveness and constant adoption of the network changes. And I think that's where we are like really having great examples with the Microsoft. So Alberto, can you share with us the Microsoft view on where the things are going in the industry and what we've been doing together?
Thank you, Alexander. Currently, Microsoft is innovating with Nokia on applying GenAI capabilities towards, I would say, one of the most important challenges in the context of autonomous networks. And that it's related normally with anomaly detection and at the same time assisted troubleshooting for the engineers. The arrival of software-defined networks, cloudification, raised considerably the amount of data flowing across the network and to a kind of unprecedented levels and scale. And this kind of inflation or this kind of hike makes the task of managing the network much more hard than ever. And so what we are innovating is how can we help engineers in the network operating center that they need to cope with the rise of, beyond human scale challenge of, monitoring and fixing network issues, combined with the nature of the cryptic information that is not easy to interpret. When they are looking, for example, for several logs that come on real time. So as such, Microsoft is innovating with Nokia together, infusing AI to detect and interpret, the patterns or the emerging patterns of failure, and also implementing guides to help people to troubleshoot the issues. And when people are faced with such kind of issue, engineers, they can be, of course, overwhelmed by information. So the idea is, how can we help people to sort out the event logs, the existing documentation to troubleshoot, the dashboards and the reports, and to isolate the problem, to define the cause and to fix it. And this is where GenAI comes to a play in a way that it can help to analyze complex information, summarize to give the engineers instant access to the knowledge that they need and recommend what is the best solution, what actually they need to do to address the issue that was detected. And as such, the engineer then can express using natural language, so it can type using the best way you want. It can even use voice to adjust network operations. And that intent is translated into workflow executable language that bring it back to the network orchestration layer, and then it's implemented on real time and on demand. And so moving forward, we will be definitely, introducing new concepts such as, for example, using digital twin, using also AI-enabled sandbox to perform what-if scenarios and analysis, and also try to understand if the running services will be impacted, meaning what kind, for example, of intent conflict and trade-offs they need to be performed. Just to give an example, imagine that we have a telco operator which is providing services in the context of a sports event that might be in a stadium. And that includes media transmission, also with fan engagement, but also at the same time, there is another service which is related to audience safety. In the case that there is, for example, a suspicion that there is a safety issue that might arise, and it's necessary to make an analysis between should we prioritize media transmission and quality, or should we degrade it, and to ensure video quality that allocates people safety or not. And we are pushing together, Nokia together with Microsoft, using digital twin, that it's able to understand what will be the required quality and what is going to be the trade-off analysis, what is the service that needs to prioritize. And after that, we can implement and make it that the services that are supposed to be prioritized are going to be the ones that are more important. So additionally, digital twin can also use continuously to seek optimizations, and it's possible to perform scenario optimization exploration on. In short, also the network learns and improves not only from real-time data as well as simulated experience that the digital twin provides. So this will only be possible, and the reason is because Microsoft and Nokia, we work together as the same team. We share the same kind of mindset on how we innovate for autonomous networks. This is also a little bit beyond about technological evolution. And here is where we are now, but also now Sasha is going also to talk about how we're going to innovate next. So Sasha, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alberto. and I think Alberto did like a really great job to summarize where we are right now, what is our vision, what we are doing right now with the Microsoft. And today we are already providing the advanced troubleshooting insights. We are translating unstructured intents into the standard APIs, creating the systems that self-diagnose and the self-heal. That's when we are talking about the AI in the networks, it's always tempting to think that it just the latest tool and another capability to plug in. But that's a little bit the mindset that actually limits us, because the truth is that AI is not just a feature, it's really a journey and a transformation. To leverage it fully, you need to rethink how, and we need to rethink how we design, how we operate and evolve our systems. AI doesn't deliver value on its own. It needs a lot of the context and it needs structure. We are not just, adding yet another card in our tech deck and we can play it with the different use cases. No, we are changing the whole deck. We are reshuffling it. That means that we need to define a clear transition strategy, not only from a tech point, but as well overall and across. For example, data modeling and semantic, moving from siloed operational data to unified. Processing pipelines. We need to enable real-time event-driven architecture that AI can act upon, or the infrastructure readiness overall, from the high-performance compute at the edge to the elements of the architecture in the core data centers that will be changed with the introduction of the AI. Without this foundation, even the most advanced models will under-deliver. And AI feeds from the quality inputs, and that's includes everything from the telemetry to the data to the APIs and so on. So one of the most overlooked points in the AI is that the model is only as good as the data behind it, and it was multiple times talked behind the curtains from Nokia and the Microsoft side. So it's not just about having the data, it's about having the right data structured in the right way and flowing through the right interfaces. And that's where Nokia and Microsoft approach really stands out, right? We are not just building the models, we are designing the data fabric and the automation pipelines that gives those models enough intelligence and a purpose how it's going to be used. And that includes building and tuning the semantic model for the unification of operational and business data. One of the most important things, how you're going to map your user experience to the assurance and network operational metrics, or enabling observability at every layer. How clean is your data? How it's how it's streaming, how it's working, do you have all the necessary access, and so on and so forth. As well, the creation of the pipelines that it can stream context into AI and the right tools at the right time. That's what makes the difference between the AI tool and the intelligent self-adaptive system that could react to changes in the network. And as well, as Alberto mentioned, let me highlight it again, the very powerful enabler here is the digital twin. We see digital twin not just like a mirror of the system or of the network, but a platform, a sandbox for the simulation and a reasoning layer that give us an ability to do things like, test AI behavior before we actually deploy it into the live environment. A lot of our customers have concerns about, immediate use of the AI in full production. So digital twin helps to resolve these kind of the challenges. It helps to simulate what-if scenarios based on the real-time telemetry, and provide contextual grounding for the AI decision-making, even with the simulation and testing for the future state of the network. So, as I said, we can think about this as a sandbox for AI, where AI can learn, refine, and validate this action before actually impacting the live network. So it gives us a win-win scenario. First of all, we will tune the models, we will test it and refine it before we actually go to the production. But the most important, we will check it so the AI models will not interfere with the production environment as well. It's extremely important to use and build this trustworthy, the safe automation tool, especially for the mission critical environments like telco and large industrial networks. With this pace of the innovation together, we are nearing this level 5 of the automation, the real autonomous networks. That is not only conceptually possible, but it's going to be actually practical and deployable. And that is why I believe we are in the very right path at Nokia and the Microsoft side, as we are forefront in the innovation, but as well with the extreme practical and applicable use cases in mind. We are combining the right frameworks, the most powerful technologies on the market, and our strategic collaboration and joint mindset. It's not just, to evolve the networks, but to create a revolution in how we operate. And Alberto, if you don't mind, I'm coming back to you because I can talk for hours about the AI and what great use cases we do have together. So what is your point of view on this?
Thank you, Alexander. And if I can supplement and looking in a future outlook or very near future, the evolution of the autonomous network space is going to be related with the deployment of software agents that will enable networks to function solely with human supervision. We keep talking about telcos and telecom operators to becoming AI first telco, but that to happen, it also needs to have people that will be upskilled, and also will be able to because of this for operators to retain or to attract talent. And this is an important element of the journey. So people in the very near future, they will stop executing non-added value repetitive tasks to someone that is going to lean on AI to contribute to improve the way operations are managed. So it's going to become a person that is going directly contribute to improve performance. And these kind of agents, they will facilitate, as Matthew and also Alexander described, elements that are important, such as self-management, self-healing, and adaptation, and is going to enable to transit towards fully autonomous network operations, as is defined by TM Forum and also other references. And unlike traditional rule-based automation that normally executes based on predefined control policies. Autonomous agents, they will dynamically adjust their objectives or the outcomes that they want to reach based on evolving network conditions. So automation will involve, carrying out predefined structured control mechanisms to ensure that the tasks are executed according a pattern that was studied, and it's the best way to optimize and to execute with some predefined conditions or also some predefined outcomes. But the most important one element on this, how design this kind of systems, is related with autonomy. And this is about the ability to function in uncertain conditions. But also more important is it's an agent which is able to self-adjust and to evolving objectives without any need of direct internal intervention. And so this element of evolution related with self-management frameworks that will also introducing closed loop feedback mechanisms based on real-time operating conditions from the network. And this kind of awareness, this will make to realize the element of agents a reality. And so there are definitely exciting times ahead in terms of innovation with our operators. But let's go back to the present. And Matthew, we were showcasing together in Mobile Congress 25 some innovations together at the event. So can you please walk us through and inspiring also our audience where we are innovating?
Thanks, Alberto. I wanted to give you a short introduction to our AI-driven operations for autonomous networks demo, which we recently showcased at MWC 25 in Barcelona. And I also wanted to actually show you one quick use case, so a real live use case as well. But let me first start off by telling you a little bit about this demo. Now, this is a live demo collaboration between Nokia and Microsoft, showcasing the Nokia Orchestration Center, which is part of the Nokia Digital Operations Center solution, and the Microsoft Azure RAG Accelerator, which is basically an AI framework for improving the quality of large language model generated responses by grounding the model on external sources of data, basically the knowledge base there. And just in case you were interested and hadn't heard it before, the RAG abbreviation stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Let's get into the demo use case. So, as you can see, the whole demo is running on the Microsoft Azure cloud and is composed of the Nokia AI Enterprise Assistant, which we developed for this demo, being integrated to both the Nokia Orchestration Center and the Microsoft Azure RAG Accelerator and the OpenAI GPT-4 large language model, which is running in the public cloud there. Now, as per the diagram, there is integration between these components, as this diagram is showing. Now, it's important to note that all of these components in the demo are live, except for the network, which is simulated there. So why have we really come up with this demo? Why did we create this demo? What we're seeing, and this is something that Alexander and also Alberto touched upon, is that we see with the advent of 5G, networks are becoming much more complex. And we want to be able to help our customers to increase the automation by leveraging AI and large language models for two key focus areas. Number one, workflow generation. We have seen how large language models can write working code, whether it's in Java or Python, but can it also create complex service orchestration workflow? Our end objective is to be able to generate the complete end-to-end orchestration workflow for a service based upon some kind of specification document. And that will require the usage of different agents, basically different specialists who will create different parts of the workflow. In this demo, we are starting the journey by generating the workflow for integrating and provisioning a new system based on inputting an interface specification file. And it's not just about inputting the specification file, but actually allowing the user to actually explore what type of operations are in this interface and then selecting those operations which are required. Number 2, error identification and rectification. We have seen how large language models can explain errors based upon publicly available information in the internet. But using a specific knowledge base of information, can we explain errors and recommend solutions in an automated fashion? Now, in collaboration with Microsoft, we've created a knowledge base composed of product documentation, vendor documentation, troubleshooting guides, past incidents and resolution actions, basically all the type of information documentation a CSP would have. And this knowledge base is then used to identify errors and recommend solutions when an error has occurred during the service orchestration process. So to summarize, with networks becoming more complex, we want to be able to help our customers accelerate their automation journey, which we believe is a must for both the services and also the networks of tomorrow. I'm now going to show you the second part of the use case, which is focusing on automating the error identification and rectification part there.
This is the Digital Operations Center Order Hub. This is basically the user interface or application which will allow us to be able to monitor the incoming service orders. Now you'll notice highlighted at the moment is a service order which I sent earlier, and you can see that the status is currently in progress. You also notice this is for NCC or Nokia Convergent Charging Service Manager, Operation Create Profile, and the version is 1.00 snapshot, and requesting user is Matthew, myself there. Let's go and dig down into this particular order so we can see some of the details and also see the status. So we can see here that there are various tasks which have been executed, some are in progress, some are started, some are completed, but you'll notice that there is one here which has failed. So the order is currently stopped because one of the tasks has failed. So this has now gone into fallout management. Now, if I click on open here, we can see on the right hand side the error code and the error message here. So as we can see here, a rather cryptic message and code here. So not something that an operator can easily identify what this really means here. Now this is where the Microsoft solution really comes into play here. So what we're able to do here is we're able to analyze this error. So you'll notice here in the kind of bottom middle of the screen where my mouse pointer is pointed, there is an analyze button. So if I click on the analyze button here, you get a message just explaining that this error will now be analyzed by the Microsoft Azure RAG Accelerator solution. Please confirm. And I click send here. And now at this point here, the Microsoft part of the solution is now basically examining the error and then using the AI RAG Accelerator to actually work out what this error means. So we've now got a response here. And now the easiest way to look at this response is if we click on the AI Assistant. And here the AI Assistant already loads up. And you'll notice here that you have first of all the information which is basically being sent to the Microsoft RAG solution. So basically, given the following error, please describe it and provide steps to solve it with the then cryptic error message and code. And then down below here we have an error description, so explaining that this particular error message and this particular error code indicates that there is an attempt to create a profile for a global group that is not permitted to have multiple layers of hierarchy. It then goes on to explain some of the steps to actually then solve the error as well. And at the bottom there, you also notice that there are various references. So we can then read up and understand, okay, where did this information actually come from, in case we wanted to understand more or read around the subject as well. Now, one of the big benefits of the whole sort of digital operations center AI enterprise assistant is that we can then continue the conversation. So if there was something in this error explanation that we didn't quite understand or just wanted to ask further clarification questions, we could go ahead and do so. So for example, there's a lot of discussion there or explanation regarding what is how to create a profile for a global group. So we could, for example, ask the question then, what parameter identifies whether the group is global or local there? I can then submit that question there. And again, the Microsoft solution is going to work out based on knowledge base, what is the answer, what is information, and straight away it can tell us that the parameter that identifies whether the group is global or local is the distribution type with two variables, either local or, of course, global there as well. We have also been investigating different communication channels. So for example, we were communicating with the AI enterprise assistant using just a standard chatbot. But it would also be possible to interact with it over an API call. But it would also be possible, and this is something that we have more recently been investigating, to interact with it over and using voice. So basically interacting with a voice bot. Now, what's really interesting here is that although we are now using our voice, the knowledge base to explain any issues or the errors is still the same. It's just the communication channel that has changed. So if you see down in the middle bottom of the screen where my mouse pointer is, you'll notice that there is now a button called Call Me. So if I press this button here, it gets a kind of message here, basically just to say the Nokia AI Enterprise Assistant will now call you. Please confirm. I'm now going to click on Send to initiate the call, and I'm also going to mirror my phone screen so you can see the actual call coming in. So you see the call coming from Nate, the Nokia AI Enterprise Assistant. I'm going to answer it now. Hello.
Good evening, I am the Nokia AI Enterprise Assistant, Nate for short. Do you need help with a Nokia converged charging solution error?
Yes, please, Nate. Could you help me with the error code account 31?
Certainly, error code account 31 means that the failed provisioning is due to the account shadow balance being larger than 0 when the account balance is negative. Is there another error code you need help with?
Yes, could you also help me with the error code MWC25?
Sure. The error code MWC25 means that this is an amazing Nokia Microsoft demo, and I hope everyone is having a great time. Woohoo! Is there another error code you'd like assistance with?
No thanks, Nate. Now, as you notice from that last part there, it was a bit of fun asking, asking them about, the MWC25 error there. But what's important here is that basically it shows the configurability that you have in terms of being able to define what information is being used to explain an error, and also, of course, how to explain very specific errors, like in the kind of jokey example that I had at the end here.
So this brings us to the end of the demo here, but the collaboration doesn't stop here. For those of you who are attending in the DTW 25 event in Copenhagen, we'll be showcasing a joint catalyst about moving to fully autonomous networks, highlighting digital twins, Gen AI, agentic AI. So really please come and check out our demo. That wraps things up for us. So a big thank you to you both. But before I sign off, I wanted to give you just, a short time to give us your final comments and final comments about the event here. Maybe first with you, Alexander.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Matthew. Guys, it was a really pleasure to be here with you. Matthew, Alberto, always happy to have a great conversation. I think we touched a lot of the very important topics, and I cannot underestimate the value of joint collaboration between Nokia and Microsoft, as we're really moving forward together into the hopefully bright future of the autonomous networks. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much our audience for the time. And if you have any more questions, as we said before, just post it in the Q&A and we will be happy to take it.
Thanks, Alexander. And some last comments from you, Alberto.
Well, thank you very much for being here. It's always a pleasure to work together and to share to the world what we are innovating jointly. Come back to us, stay tuned, and we will keep innovating and moving fast the autonomous networks journey forward. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you both for a very interesting discussion regarding how we can leverage Gen AI to advance to a fully autonomous network. Very interesting. And to our listeners, you'll see a QR code that will take you to a quick survey about your experience today. We'd love to hear your comments and feedback. And thank you for joining Nokia's LinkedIn Live with Microsoft. Thank you very much.